I'm just going to be honest with you, Pisces. May does start off a little bit messy. We do have a lunar eclipse on the 5th, and this is in the middle of Mercury retrograde, so there's a lot of disruptions that are happening right now, and for you specifically, it might feel like you're having a hard time communicating or getting your point across or just being received by other people, which can be very frustrating. We do also have this potential for some sort of perspective shift for you. There could be a change in your belief system. There could also be an end to a journey, or even something with your education as well around this eclipse on the 5th. So there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of these energies that it almost feels like you're very stuck in your head. That's what I'm tuning into. That's what I was really feeling with you when I was tapping into your energy, Pisces. It was like, I feel like this group is very up in their head right now, and it feels like you need to ground yourself. You need to kind of come back to earth. If you're excited for this month's reading, then definitely be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you're always up to date with what's in the cards for you. For those of you who are brand new to this channel, my name is Michael, and I utilize tarot and tropical astrology to intuit monthly forecasts for your zodiac sign. For those of you who are ready for a deep dive, you can find links for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions in the description of this video, as well as links for all of my other social media accounts. So as I'm shuffling the cards for you, Pisces, I am going to just talk a little bit more about the astrology. As I already mentioned, we do have a lunar eclipse in Scorpio on the 5th. This is actually the last lunar eclipse the last lunar eclipse in Scorpio for the next several years. And it really is kind of the completion of a cycle that we began last year. So there could be something really important that is concluding around this time that may have begun for you in 2022 or maybe even 2021. And it's very interesting. I do feel like for you, there's this sort of truth or revelation or epiphany that is changing things. And it might be hard for you to connect with people. You might be having a hard time kind of putting this shift into words even. And it kind of feels like the energy is a little bit all over the place. You might be feeling a little scattered. I am getting that kind of tuning into your energy myself. The cards just kind of flying everywhere. So it might be important for you to really take some time to ground this energy. I was talking about that in the intro, but I still am kind of feeling that. The first card I actually got was the Knight of Wands. This was showing up in the past. Maybe there was some sort of journey you were taking. Maybe you moved, or were learning something that you were really passionate about. Or there's some sort of passion that you feel disconnected to. So I feel like a lot of you have gone from this spontaneous energy that was very carefree, and lately you've been in this cycle where you've been very serious with the Ten of Pentacles and finding a lot of stability. And I think that this was important. And with the High Priestess, it feels like you really have been tapping more into your spirituality and intuition. And that makes perfect sense because I was just talking about how this full moon lunar eclipse is very much connected to spirituality. And there could be this kind of download or this realization that you are having. Tell me more. Interesting. Three of Cups in reverse with the Six of Swords. This is literally what I was just saying, Pisces. And it's funny because as I'm tuning into your energy, it's like, I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. I already kind of know what's happening in this reading. Because with the Three of Cups and the Six of Swords like this, it feels like you're just moving away from people or from friends or connections where you don't necessarily understand each other. And this doesn't even necessarily have to be a permanent thing. It doesn't have to be like you're cutting people out. Maybe some of you are, but what this really feels more like to me is you want different things from the people around you. And that's okay. It's not necessarily an explosive sort of argument or anything like that, but you're kind of going in a different direction than the people around you. And that could be quite literal. Some of you maybe are moving or relocating. That is potential, actually, for you this month. Or you want to explore more. You want to broaden your horizons. You want to see something different with the Six of Swords. And it feels like you're kind of reconnecting with this very adventurous, spunky, fiery part of yourself with the Knight of Wands in the past, where maybe over the past couple of years you've been very focused on stability with the Ten of Pentacles. And maybe even what's comfortable or familiar to you. Or kind of doing what's traditional. But I feel like spiritually now, you want to go off in a new direction. That's a bit too many. Let's shuffle here. Show us clearly, what are the messages for Pisces? Where is all of this going for Pisces in the month of May? We do have the Star and the Chariot. And again, this is you wanting to move forward with the Chariot into the direction of the Star, to your spiritual guidance, your spiritual calling. And it feels like there is something bigger that is calling you. There's something bigger to your life that you are yearning for. There's more to your life than this. I heard that. Like, there's more to my life than this. I can't keep doing this. I have to do something different. I have to go after my dreams. I have to know if I can do this or not. And I do feel like a lot of you are actually quite psychic or spiritual yourselves. Maybe you are readers or healers with the High Priestess. For others of you, this is more just about trusting into your intuition, trusting in your heart, and letting that guide you. But looking at the High Priestess with the Star, I do feel like a lot of you really are in this energy of like needing to listen to your intuition, listening to this higher calling. And I don't know if you can hear that, but my phone is actually buzzing right now. I'm literally getting a phone call, and I usually silence my phone. So there is this calling. There is this calling for you. And it's like answering to this higher calling. And other people might not understand it. And you're kind of just going to have to do it anyway. So if you have like a really big dream for your life, Pisces, and it feels like the people around you just aren't getting it, or you don't even know how to share it with them, you don't know how to talk to them, I'm here to tell you, go for it. Especially if this is like a life purpose or passion for you, particularly involving spirituality or intuition, maybe your creativity as well, something a bit off the beaten path. The Page of Swords, some of you might be writers. Some of you might even be going back to school or taking courses or learning new skills. And that's something that is very nurturing to you or very nourishing to you. And it feels like Cancer season and Aquarius season are going to be very important. So Cancer season is the end of June to the end of July. And Aquarius season is the end of January to the end of February. So both of these time periods could be very significant. They could be times when you're making moves or going forward in some way. Maybe there's some communication around this time that's really, really important. What else do we have for Pisces? I'm curious about, let's just ask about love and money really quickly. Okay, so for love, we have the Four of Cups and the Nine of Wands. For those of you who are single, it kind of doesn't feel like it's time to be dating right now, or maybe you're just getting over a hard period right now. There could be people who are coming towards you, there could be offers, but I feel like you're sort of burnt out from dating if you are if you are single. If you are connected to another person, there could be some burnout either for you or another person. Maybe someone's working really hard. It feels like it's hard to connect. And for some of you, maybe that's what this energy is, of like people not understanding you. It could actually be your partner, or someone you are very close to. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but I do feel like, again, like communication is just this really weird thing for you this month. It does feel temporary. I'm not necessarily getting the sense of an ending per se, but it's like there's some big feelings that are not getting processed in the way you would like them to be. But I do feel like things are shifting. Things are changing with the Nine of Wands. You're kind of coming out of a rough patch, it feels like, with your relationships. And there actually could be opportunities, again, especially if you're single, to connect. But it's like you're not necessarily feeling the people who are reaching out to you right now either. So that could also be part of it. Maybe you're just not feeling like you want to connect or be social. So that's something. And I know sometimes people think they want a relationship when they're single, but when they actually look and reflect, they're like, they're not actually making the moves, they're not putting themselves out there, they're not really open to it. So that could be sort of an energy that you're dealing with. Or again, it could also just be manifesting as not feeling like you're on the same page or having a hard time communicating. Any advice for this? Ace of Swords, there will be clarity, there will be an important conversation. Honestly, this will probably happen towards the end or middle of this month when Mercury goes direct on May 14th. And afterwards, there could be some conversation that helps illuminate things or helps get people back on the same page. So I do feel like communication is important, but also, you know, get really clear in yourself, like what it is that you need to discuss or what it is that you need to talk about. I kind of just feel like the vibe has been weird, and it's kind of just like checking in. Any other advice? I'm feeling like I need to move on to finances, but we do have the Lovers. Yeah, I feel like the love is there. I do feel like there is this connection here. And it's just about having a heart-to-heart. I feel like that's going to be important. You're going to need to have a heart-to-heart, and you might need to kind of figure out what it is that you're even talking about, or what it is that you even need to say or be felt, or what you need to be felt in you. That was a weird way of expressing that, but basically how you feel like you need to be received, what you need to have received. So what is going on for finances this month? Don't be hasty with finances. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse with the Two of Swords. I feel like it's important for you to not rush into making a decision if you can avoid it, especially like a major investment right now. And I mean, sometimes that just can't be helped. But I think in general with Mercury retrograde in Taurus, again, it's like we're kind of rethinking our finances. There could be issues with finances or money that are coming up. And we might not be seeing these things super clearly either. We might be overestimating or underestimating expenses. And so it's important not to like rush into things, not to get carried away right now when it comes to your finances. We do also have the Strength card. This actually did come up in reverse, but I pulled it up right as I was drawing it. And it feels like there just needs to be some composure here, because Strength is the card of composure. So you might actually need to be very disciplined with your finances right now. I think you're okay, but I do feel like there's a situation where it's like just being very conscientious of where you are putting your resources and energy. That includes money. And you might actually be happier when you are more intentionally spending your money on things that are actually good for you. Because I'm not saying don't invest in yourself, don't invest in your self-care or anything. Just don't get too carried away. Anything else? I'm going to pull an animal card for you, Pisces. What is the animal message for Pisces? Interesting. We have the Phoenix. And I was talking about this with the Knight of Wands in the past. I felt like there was this spark, this fire coming back from the past. There's this rebirth. And I feel like part of the thing with finances too is like there are some changes that you're going to be wanting to make, I think, with your career or with your life path. And that might be why it's important to kind of be a little bit more frugal right now, or to be a bit more savvy with your finances, because you might feel like you need to do that later. You might benefit from it later, is what I'm saying. Because you might want to be pursuing something else. Especially with this Phoenix card, there's this sort of rebirth, this new life, this new creation. And it's kind of like rising above. Very, very interesting. And we have the Nightingale. Yeah, I feel like something that's happening this month is like you are having this sort of revelation in sort of the breakdown of Mercury retrograde and this eclipse, but you are going to be sharing something with the collective. You're going to be sharing your voice. It's important to share your voice, your wisdom with people here, and even to speak from the heart. And I was talking about that with your relationships as well. It feels like you're going to be having a heart-to-heart conversation. And you know, I know nightingales are often singing right before dawn, so it's like there could be a really hard conversation, but it actually brings hope and renewal with the Phoenix. So that's like another message I'm getting for you too. It's just important that you're making sure you are in an aligned place, because I feel like some of you are honestly a little bit triggered about something happening in relationships, or you're feeling disconnected in some way. And I think it's actually manageable. Whatever's going on in your relationships, it's just going to require like having kind of an uncomfortable conversation. And part of that is sort of working through old wounds, and especially if you have a history where you feel like your emotions weren't taken seriously by other people. I feel like there's actually someone who really wants to be supportive to you. So you just need to be authentic and vulnerable with this person. But it's kind of like sitting in that discomfort first. It's not just about trying to get rid of it as quick as possible and run away from it. Acknowledge what's going on inside of yourself and then speak to it. Process and then speak is what I feel is important for you. Because I think you might not even fully understand what's going on, or you might not have the best way to communicate that, especially until the middle of this month. But anyways, Pisces, I feel like overall there's this really beautiful energy. There's this beautiful transformation that's taking place. I feel like a lot of you are meant to be spiritual teachers or healers or readers. And it feels like you're starting to make this move forward. And again, it might be something that people don't understand. It might not be something that your family understands, or your friends, or maybe even your partner right now. But I feel like once you kind of clarify the vision for you, you can kind of communicate that in a way where people are going to be more able to receive it. So just listen to your calling right now. Connect with your own intuition. Really figure out what it is that your intuition and spirit is trying to tell you. And I will see you all in the next video. I'm sending lots of love your way. You can find all of my links in the description box for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions. There are also links for donations for those of you who feel so called. But honestly, you can just support this channel by hitting the like, subscribe, and bell notification. All of that helps this channel grow and allows me to continue putting out this content for all of you. Anyways, Pisces, take care. Have a blessed May.